All right, so now we have our notes, we've shared them, we have access to everything. Now we want to start a discussion about them to kick off our PLC, our weekly PLC. So I've synced my laptop, you've synced your laptop, you've synced your iPad.
And even if I came to the PLC with just my iPhone, I could do this too.
You could absolutely engage and talk. So if we weren't all in the same room, I know we could just talk to each other, but if we weren't all in the same room, we're going to model what that looks like in the work chat. So I'm going to open up the notebook.
So I could have done this on a snow day?
You can absolutely do this on a snow day. Call it PLC in your PJs, right?
Correct.
All right, so on my computer, when I'm in the notebook, all I have to do is click work chat, and it opens up all the different chats I have going on. I'm going to double click to make it a separate window.
Is work chat that little icon that has like a...
It looks like a talk bubble?
Yeah, talk bubble. So I open
with
that
a little arrow.
I open that up.
And I'm going to type in a message to you to see, make sure you get it.
Okay. Oh,
okay.
Hello, PLC.
You got it. Okay, now open up that
One
work
new.
chat. Just says just now. There we go.
Just now. Oh.
Okay, now click in that. This is the chat. These are all different separate chats. All right, so now you can click there.
Reply. Oh, Jean's already replied. I better
There
get
she
with
goes.
it. Hello. And send. Chat sent.
Got it there. Okay, so now I will ask a question to the PLC.
And that is a good reminder. You have to stay on task.
And I got a notice on my cell phone that someone was in the chat because I have Evernote on my cell phone, which is pretty neat, the little icon, and it beeps up like I got a text message.
Okay, but Josh, when I did this, I lost the binder.
That's one of the limitations to being in the iPad. Like you can be in the chat or you can be in the note. Unless you have your laptop, like I have my setup where I can look at the notes separately and I have the chat off to the side between both of you.
Okay.
Oh, there was another response. So the conversation can continue without me, whether I am here sitting with you and we're just writing notes to each other quietly, or if I walk away and go all the way over here. Or I'm somewhere totally different, I can still engage in the PLC conversation on my phone. Or I'm way up here, totally away from everybody. I can still, I hope I don't drop my phone, engage in the chat on my phone. But once again, I can't look at the note and be in the chat on my phone. You can only look at both things if you have a laptop or on your desktop. My phone is blowing up with all the discussions going on.
We're chatty women.
So another one of the benefits of this is not only notes from conferences, but maybe I find like a great article or research, or there's like a PDF. I can have that PDF in the notes and I can share that with you. We can have a discussion over that. Some like big research about phonics and whole language and how to use that in our teaching practices. Or maybe I find a great blog post and I think everybody in my department needs to read that. I can share that and then we can have a discussion over it over the chat.
So do you take a screenshot of that blog post? Do you send a URL to whichever you want to?
A little tool called Web Clipper. I think it's the easiest way to incorporate blog posts into your notebooks. I have the Chrome browser pulled up here, and I think it's also available for Firefox browser. And you'll see there's a little elephant icon in my Chrome browser. I'm going to go to just one of my random favorite websites for favorite blogs to read. Okay, so I have one of my favorite blogs up here and have the blog post. Now if I click on the little elephant icon, the little built-in web tool into my Chrome browser, and it takes away all the clutter. So now I have this. A lot easier on the eyes, no more ads, nothing off to the side. I can just concentrate on all the information, and you'll notice that my cursor even changed. It's turned into a little highlighter So I can read through and I can highlight just the really important stuff, which is really helpful if you're sharing information with a team. I can just highlight the key parts that I feel are most necessary to discuss with my PLC, and they can just focus on that in case you're in a real hurry.
Right.
And so I'm going to add it to a notebook. Here's where, in this little sidebar, this is what connects everything to the Evernote. I can choose which notebook to put it in, so I could go put it in our notebook that we created, Generic PD Conference. I have one called Reading List, so whenever I do find something I want to read later, I just go to my Reading List notebook, and I will save. And then you will get this great article about the good, the bad, and the ugly about CrossFit. Because I know you were really thinking about joining like a CrossFit camp, right, Carol?
I was. That was high on #1 priority list. Should be.
So that'll sync up there. But the other thing I think we need to discuss is, what if we have some teachers that are just total Luddites, they don't want to sign up for Evernote, but they still want to get all the good information? Well, I'm going to share this note that you took of Sam, because I think it has some great information on here. And I'm going to go up to the share button at the top of my screen. And you'll notice there's lots of options for sharing, not just with people that have an Evernote account, but you can copy and create a public link, which what that does is, in effect, is make this note into its own mini website of sorts. So I will click that. It's syncing.
Where did you do that? Now, can I do that on an iPad?
You can, and I'll show you where. But when I have that as copied as a public link, this is what it'll look like when I copy and paste it. Maybe if I paste it in an email and I send it to that teacher, I can just click on it, and this is what that teacher without an Evernote account will see in their web browser. So they also get some great pictures of Sam. If they ever decide to open up an Evernote account, there is the option to save to their Evernote account up here in the top corner of that web page too. Now, how to do it on an iPad.
So let me think. I would go to my notes. Now I'm going to go to the notebook. I would go to generic. I would go to the Sam, right?
Try to go to a different one since we already saved the Sam notebook.
Okay, let's do the good, the bad. Okay.
So you read through it, maybe you put some highlights or some notes in it, and now you want to share it with someone else that doesn't have an Evernote account. Go to those 3 dots.
Share.
Go to share. Okay, now here's all the iPad options. You can do your iMessage, which is like texting the link. You can tweet the link, or you can put it on your Facebook wall. We're just going to go to the copy the link. There we go. Public link. There we go.
Link copied.
And so now you can close out of Evernote, open up your web browser, so you can show what it looks like. There we go. Now open up the web browser.
Safari.
Now in there. Now paste. Okay, now hit go. And there it is.
I am. And then I can save it to my
Works
Evernote.
slightly differently,
All
of
right.
course, on the PC.
Show us on the PC.
Okay, so I go to share, and I'm going to, I've looked, it had a copy share URL, but I'm going to go to modify share, I think, so I can do a public link,
Perfect.
and then I can modify permissions if I want to.
Yes.
Okay.
Which it might be good to have those restrictions if it's like student work and you only want the reading specialist, or just the student to be able to see that work, or maybe just their parents.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to the next step and talk about how to incorporate Evernote in our classrooms.
How long is this URL good for? Will it stay there forever?
Forever and ever.
Ever? No.
Forever, no. That's awful. We shouldn't even laugh at that. You should not even laugh at
It
that.
doesn't take very much.